Me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, ear to ear. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over. They unleash the lawyer, set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need more close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people. The country taking a beating. So me plea are repeating. Go. They like a natural disaster. 10 times worse than Ebola. Like a dog with fleas and tongue on their knees. And I'm begging, go now, and I did warn we. Prophesy to the country, streets turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing, go now. This is my humble petition. Another day for election, go now, please. Accidental, detrimental, could be lethal. Are you willing to take that chance? Much too seedy, they too greedy, eyes too beady. Honeymoon end before the romance. We expect corruption, but now without check or interruption. That a few might stuff their pocket, but not racket by the pocket. From the constant comments, we get no recess. Before things fall apart and the riot starts. Even in chutney, I'll tell them go. Make it sooner than later. To protect the future, please. For the sake of we children and the next generation. Go. To safeguard our image. Before Griffith cause more damage. Like a dog with fleas and tongue on the knees. And I'm begging, go now. They try to stick me with rage me. Go now. They have more trick than Houdini. Streams turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing, go now. Please, Mrs. Kamla. Go now. Take Munila and Sharma, go. Yeah. Now, please. What are you doing? Them minions, total villains, raking millions. Their slogan, we shall rise, it was so true. Tell John Public not to panic while them and they sidekick. Swimming in a pool of dollars so blue. Like meat-eating vulture, they neglect agriculture. Mega fans of phony, Mama Guy Caroni. Sharma, they face to face with the karma, and it was awful. But you went too far. Don't need a big mouth to tell them go. Watch your see.
Peace, my brother.
Peace.
Independent Talk for Sunday, the 23rd of June, 2024. Exactly 2 years. Devon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
2 years since disaster.
It's 2 years since we get the hit and run.
Hit and run.
So I'm asking the listeners one favor to the Igwe. To allow us to lead their minds through a journey of facts as how Christ led his disciples in the Garden of Gethsemane. That's my only request today.
Our only request.
Yes. Grenada is my constituency. Real FM is my parliament. And I'm the people's spokesman alongside Igwe and Devon. Blessed and protected by the Ancient of Days. My purpose here is to bring people the facts. And I don't just want them to take it. So check me. facts has only one side, Igwe. What they do with the facts is a matter entirely for them. I'm here to advocate the truth and justice, even when it will affect me personally. Justice delayed is justice denied. I'm here to advocate for those who cannot do it for themselves, like the shut-ins, the vulnerable, the marginalized, the poor and vulnerable. I'm here to bring hope to those who are hurting by the actions of this government. Real FM, real media. Where shame is absent, anything could happen. Like having one occupant in the affordable housing in Dumfries, Carrico. We style this discussion to the hit and run. And we're going to play 2 clips of the bat, which will set the tone for the discussion. Igwe.
Regarding the issue of payment of state pensions, unless we manage the process well and set out a viable roadmap under which the state could meet its obligations, it can completely derail the economy, sink thousands into dire poverty, and set us back many years and cripple the future development plans. That must not happen under our watch. We can only have the best outcome, however, my friends, by having the most honest conversations. And that must include all stakeholders being engaged. Because this is not about just the public workers. It's about all the citizens of Grenada, Carrico, and PT Martinique. The government obviously must lead on this matter. Have no choice. But it puts a reasonable final solution in doubt unless we purposely engage all stakeholders.
You grind a halt. So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public source in the thousands. We do not have the government doesn't have the resources on its own to absorb another 3,000 or 4,000 people. That's what we're looking at here. 3,500 persons who work in one way or the other government and are called contracted workers who do not have any pension. And so we simply cannot absorb that 3,500 to the existing list, because then you're going to perhaps 8,000 people in an unfunded pension arrangement, right? It's not sustainable and the country will not be able to pay, right? And therefore, what?
Yes, play that last clip again, because I want people to hear the Prime Minister.
You grind a halt. So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public source in the thousands. We do not have the government doesn't have the resources on its own to absorb another 3,000 or 4,000 people. That's what we're looking at here. 3,500 persons who work in one way or the other government and are called contracted workers who do not have any pension. And so we simply cannot absorb that 3,500 to the existing list, because then you're going to perhaps 8,000 people in an unfunded pension arrangement, right? It's not sustainable and the country will not be able to pay, right? And therefore, what?
Yes,
you have another one for me, regularization. Because I just want to say this stage.
Very important stage.
Coming to you now.
Congress commits to regularizing the status of contract workers who are working for the government and Imani workers who are working for the government within 12 months of assuming office.
So like 24 months now, Devon.
Yeah.
And play the second clip. The second clip what you play today, you will stay on the ball with me.
You grind a halt. So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public source in the thousands. We do not have the government doesn't have the resources on its own to absorb another 3,000 or 4,000 people. That's what we're looking at here. 3,500 persons who work in one way or the other government and are called contracted workers who do not have any pension. And so we simply cannot absorb that 3,500 to the existing list, because then you're going to perhaps 8,000 people in an unfunded pension arrangement, right? It's not sustainable, and the country will not be able to pay, right? And therefore, what?
So, Devon, I'll give you the first crack on it.
And you know that last statement. Good afternoon to all our listeners, viewers, wherever you are, right around the world, and especially in this tri-island state. I will start with the last part that he he mentioned. Now, it's ironic that during the political campaign 2 years ago, so a lot of utterance was made by the then political organization NDC on what they would do, right? And assuming office, realizing they cannot do, right? But it's not that they did not know. They deliberately sold a bag of lies to the Grenadian people. Deliberately. They hit the Grenadian people and then they started to run. You see, because the Prime Minister and his team, right, did not want to hear or to listen to what former Prime Minister Keith Mitchell and his government had to say when it comes to pension. The discussions must have been held. You had to sit down and do what was necessary, right, for the country. But instead, they maligned, they lied. They said all sorts of things about this government. The government didn't want to pay pension and this, and they don't like workers and everything like that. And they went on record as to say, by the stroke of a pen, within 12 months, we will regularize or make all workers permanent. And now you're hearing what the Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell is saying at this point in time, that they cannot do it because of the same thing that former Prime Minister Keith Mitchell was telling the nation. Right? So from the onset, these guys plan to lie to the Grenadian people deliberately, right? To get their vote, to get them in office, and know that they're in office, they cannot deliver. How deceitful, right? A group of politicians they are. Continue to deceive the Grenadian people, right? Take everything for themselves and run with it. Hit and run. Master Carl?
Hit and run. So that was a hit and run. So the Prime Minister of Grenada clear up every doubt as to what happened during the campaign. So all little children know the Prime Minister and them lie when they talk about, and you should look for that clip for me, the stroke of a pen. You should look for the one with Dennis Cornwall as soon as. Because we're putting them on trial today. We're putting them on trial today, 2 years after they hoodwink the Grenadian public. Are they ready for them yet, Igwe? Relax. 2 years. And they go try to come and tell you one of the achievement is the payment of pension. But 2 years on, the promise of making people permanent, the Prime Minister say today, yeah. He say this thing can happen. He say this thing can happen. So if he know this thing can happen, why it took him so long to come back to the Grenadian public and say, sorry, I lie for all you?
That is one of the lies.
And speaking all kind of nonsense about who living in glass house, but you living in a house full of glass?
Full of glass. And when the glass break, it's not he that paying for it. Eh?
I want the Prime Minister clip again, Igwe. Because I'm able to hear what he say.
You grind pot. So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public service in the thousands. We do not have the government doesn't have the resources on its own to absorb another 3,000 or 4,000 people. That's what we're looking at here. 3,500 persons who work in one way or the other government and are called contracted workers who do not have any pension. And so we simply cannot absorb that 3,500 to the existing list, because then you're going to perhaps 8,000 people in an unfunded pension arrangement, right? It's not sustainable and the country will not be able to pay, right? And therefore, what?
So when Dr. Mitchell said the same thing, Igwe, they say you don't want to pay lie. Pay the pension. But we deal with pension. Because we have to deal with pension. The PS, Igwe. I want the PS. Yes, because the PS go set it straight for us.
Finance. I just wanted to make one additional point with respect to the pensioner. So the retroactive pension that is paid now, all those persons who have received those payments are now added to the pension payroll. So you'll continue receiving your monthly pensions going forward. So essentially, we're talking about 2,200 persons now on the payroll, and an additional 525 being added to that as part of the pension payroll going forward. And whenever someone retires, based on the
Thus saith the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Sylvester. He's a guy we go in the same school. So I don't believe you come and lie to the nation.
You don't lie to the nation like that.
So all the old talk. Because I let them have the time, you know. Now man call out, wait, we teaching today. After the lecture you go call, we teaching.
Please.
We giving information, we teaching today. The professors here, we making a case. We giving the evidence. You being the jurors, later on I'll go make all your verdict. So all the old talk about NNP don't pay pension and Keith Mitchell don't pay pension. The permanent secretary say 2,200 persons was receiving a monthly pension.
Yeah, already.
Because I ask all you to allow me to lead all your minds, immerse all you in facts, as how Christ led his disciples in the Garden of Gethsemane. So let me lead your minds. So when they pay retroactive pension payment, and play the PS again, because we have to make things crystal clear like say now.
Finance. I just wanted to make one additional point with respect to the pensioner. So the retroactive pension that is paid now.
The retroactive payment, and we've been saying that, yeah?
From the word go.
We've been saying it's retroactive. But level for argument's sake or discussion's sake, 525 persons was added to 2,200. So all of the NMP didn't pay pension. What says thou? Because 500, and it does vex. When I say 500 persons is less than 1% of the population. I'll rasta man, I can't think me and tell me not so hard to say it. But if you have 100,000 people here, and 525 get retroactive payment, that's less than 1%.
But I still give them 1%.
And in the NNP used to pay 2,200, I more, 4 times more. And all of a sudden they didn't used to pay.
Because I cannot understand.
So don't beat up on me.
At all.
Go and ask the PS. Watch. And the PS, what behooved me was, Devon. Play it again and to get a thing, because the language. The PS, because I want to break down everything. We go deep sea dive into it.
Finance. I just wanted to make one additional point with respect to
the PSC. I want to make one additional point.
So you saw the importance of it.
Continue.
Yeah.
The pensioner. So the retroactive pension that is paid now, all those persons who have received those payments are now added to the pension payroll. So you'll continue receiving your monthly pensions going forward.
Yeah.
So essentially, we're talking about 2,200.
Stop it. The PSA. Mr. Mike Sylvester say, you have to add 2,200. So all of them only say now NMP don't pay pension. Answer that. But hear this now. A lot of them, out of that 525 persons they're getting $1,700 and something a month, and because by monthly payment, so they're getting 800 and something every fortnight. And 800 and something, and 800 and something, and 1,700 and something is 2/3 of the final salary. Because I want them challenge me on that. It's 2/3 of the thing. But those who are getting the 2,200, they're getting 100% of the final pay. So what they used to get, they get 110% of the final pay.
That was before.
Those 2,200
and the 525
they're getting 2/3
of the final pay.
Yeah.
And the job.
So all you talk about pension. Let's talk pension. Because when the ruling came out, I think in May
sometime
or something, or March.
Either late May, somewhere.
All kind of jump up. The National Democratic Congress say we go pay even though we have to borrow. So why now? Play the Prime Minister again for me, because I have to ask him something.
You grind to halt. So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public service in the thousands. We do not have the government doesn't have the resources on its own to absorb another 3,000 or 4,000 people. That's what we're looking at here. 3,500 persons who work in one way or the other government and are called contracted workers who do not have any pension. And so we simply cannot absorb that 3,500 to the existing list, because then you're going to perhaps 8,000 people in an unfunded pension arrangement, right? It's not sustainable and the country will not be able to pay, right?
So why you don't go and borrow money now? Because you say you don't borrow to pay. So why you don't borrow now? And why you don't use the money you're making from the CBI?
Yeah.
Because
$1 billion plus.
The basic needs of mankind is food, water, and shelter. So if pension or you want to give less thing, but what Devon we teaching to them, because we have to let the people know.
And it's ironic when you hear presently that leaders of our trade unions coming out at this point in time and challenging the government.
What they say? Tell me what they say.
Well, based on my information I gathered from, for example, the
read what they say, Devon, man.
No, I lost it. The clip just disappeared. But he was stating clearly that the whole question of regularization and health issues with workers and so is no more on the front burner by this present government. Because remember, that was one of the pivotal promises, right? By the now they were in opposition, by the NDC. But at this point in time, the unions, they realize now that the government is neglecting, right, their promises. As a matter of fact, they're reneging on their lie.
So play the Prime Minister again, because I want people to hear this guy. Gates, stay with me, man. You're doing your own thing.
So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public service in the thousands. We do not have the government doesn't have the resources on its own to absorb another 3,000 or 4,000 people. That's what we're looking at here. 3,500 persons who work in one way or the other government and are called contracted workers who do not have any pension. And so we simply cannot absorb that 3,500 to the existing list, because then you're going to perhaps 8,000 people in an unfunded pension arrangement, right? It's not sustainable and the country will not be able to pay.
Stop it,
right? And therefore, what?
So Imanis They lie for all you.
They lie
Look
for
at the
you.
man seat.
Yeah.
Contract workers,
They
they
lie
lie for
for
you.
you.
I want you to play my representative for me.
Nurses,
They lie for
they
all you.
lie for all you. It's because we have to continue letting the nation know the lies that these guys hit.
And NDC government will put an end to contract workers in the public service as soon as it takes office. There is no need for a parallel public service in Grenada. All workers will be given permanent status.
But Dennis, you damn lie. You lie. Because look at the Prime Minister saying, no, he don't have the money to do that.
Yeah.
It's not me was saying. And Lennox Andrew is a man I like to run him out too.
Yes.
Surplus, I want that. Because he say he has a lot of money. So somebody don't speak in the truth. Somebody lying. Either Dennis lie, stroke of a pen can stroke, the pen can stroke, or the pen can't stroke. Surplus, maybe he's a lie.
In fact, Mr. Speaker,
Yeah, go on.
I would even go further. From a pure economic point of view and a pure economic analysis point of view to indicate the performance of government. If I had my way, I will introduce a new performance indicator in addition to what is there in the bill. And that one is referred to as the current account balance. And the current account balance is the difference between your current revenues and your current expenditure. And your current revenues are your tax revenues and your non-tax revenues. Yeah? And I've already explained what is your current expenditure. When you subtract your current revenues from the current expenditure, you obtain your current account balance. Mr. Speaker, that current account balance, from our numbers I would have recollected, has always been positive, and it as high as 5% of gross domestic product, which means that we have millions of dollars, which means that the government and our government has been able to collect enough revenue, tax and non-tax, to pay wages and salaries, to pay goods and services, to pay interest payments, and to pay transfer and subsidies, and still have a lot of money left. We call it a surplus. And that surplus could go directly, if you so desire, go directly into meeting your capital needs. Good? It could go directly into meeting your capital needs.
Are they in Parliament? So,
I wonder if toes lying too.
well, no, well, let me draw the parallel now because I asked them for me to guide their minds through facts. As how Christ led his disciples in the Garden of Gethsemane. So play Mr. Deacon Mitchell again. I don't say nothing of my own doing. What they say I play.
You grind to a halt. So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public source in the thousands. We do not have the government doesn't have the resources on its
Stop it.
to absorb another 3,000 or 4,000 people.
What a man just say. They have surplus money.
Millions.
So who doing in the Grenadian public? Who lying? Go on.
People, that's what we're looking at here. 3,500 persons
Stop
who
it.
working.
They say all contract workers will be regularized.
All Imani workers.
Dennis say that. The Prime Minister say that. The Prime Minister even give a timeline. Dennis say, as soon as we reach. And you know, they go to sing a song, soon as we reach. With Juka. With the Jab Jab Banana. So Dennis, why are you juking the people soon as I reach? And then the Prime Minister saying 12 months. And then told say, we have plenty money. Surplus. And we pay everything. If I don't pay everything, how I can pay the pension? Why? When I say even though I didn't have I borrow. When I boasting CBN say it's $1 billion. I mean, I hear a young fella in a food place saying in 23 months we make $1 billion. And he's saying how he just call that station. We doesn't cut off people here. Yeah. Call today.
Call today.
You say we're afraid. You call and we discuss that.
And today happens to be your anniversary.
Call today. The lax man who eating the food.
Yes.
Call today. Let we discuss pension and what Toes say and what Deacon say and what Dennis say and what Deacon say today.
Yeah. Call.
And you talk out in 23 months, $1 billion. Call.
Yeah. And call. And if you don't want to talk to them too bald, you have a Rasta man here you can talk to. Call.
But listen this. Call. Listen this. Section 92 of the Grenadian Constitution, Devon. Subsection 1. Because he talk about people who paying and you have to contributory.
Contributory.
The law to be applied with respect to any pensions benefit that were granted to any person before this section came into operation shall be the law that was in force at the date on which those benefits were granted, or any law in force at a later date that is not less favorable to that person. Listen this. All you jump up, all you whine, all you dance when the ruling come out from the court, you say NNP dead. Dr. Mitchell try to explain to all you, this thing is bigger than we think. When Dr. Mitchell started to talk about $1 billion, they say, he lie. He lie. Now, I won't place Sister Claudette yet because she said the same thing, but let me go.
Yeah, we will leave her for later.
But any other pension law, Section 92 of the Constitution says it cannot be less favorable. Yeah. So the fact that he said this one is free, non-contributory, and you should contribute to the next one, he make it less favorable already.
So it's illegal.
It is unconstitutional.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not me already constitutional. Yeah. I know that brilliant. Yeah. Damn bright I don't.
I was going to school when they write it.
I don't even know where I was. Maybe I was in liquid form. I don't know.
It's amazing. You know,
so we just get a hit and run.
Yeah, just a hit and run, you see. And they continue to lie. And when we expose the lies by their own uttering their voices, they vex. Why should you vex when we proven to the Grenadian people that you deceived them, that you hid them and now you're running?
Give me Dr. Mitchell again.
Issue of payment of state pensions, unless we manage the process well and set out a viable roadmap under which the state could meet its obligations, it can completely derail the economy, sink thousands into dire poverty, and set us back many years and cripple the future development plans. That must not happen under our watch. We can only have the best outcome, however, my friends, by having the most honest conversations. And that must include all stakeholders being engaged. Because this is not about just the public workers. It's about all the citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The government obviously must lead on this matter. Have no choice. But it puts a reasonable final solution in doubt unless we purposely engage all stakeholders.
Now, you know, what is ironic with the Prime Minister and his government, right? They cannot settle this whole pension issue. Although they're using that as one of their achievements in 2 years, they still cannot get it right. But yet for all, they are planning to introduce another pension scheme, right? Come later on in October when they say they will pilot legislation through Parliament to introduce another pension scheme. This one here right now, you catching your royal to deliver to the people. You continue lying. Pension was already started paying donkey years ago, right? But to claim all the fame and everything like that, you rush in and tell people, oh, you pay pension, and you lie. Yes, you added 500 persons, 1% of the population, to the pension list. Hey, kudos to you. Right? They deserve it. But don't continue to lie to the Grenadian people and talk about the previous government did not want to pay pension and they didn't pay it, and you come and you pay it. Lie. Why don't you guys stop lying? Right? People are getting fed up of you, making utterances and then he catching up with you. And this whole pension issues is a typical example. You promise people that you go make everybody permanent, regularize everybody with the stroke of a pen. And now, realizing the trouble and the problem you're in right now, not listening to the former Prime Minister, and so you find your backside in the fire. Now you're coming back and try to reverse your decisions. Come on.
A good friend of mine.
Hit and run, man.
A good friend of mine say, so now it is being openly stated by the very top of the political hierarchy that mass regularization is too costly.
Yes.
To the state. The theory by the stroke of a pen
disappears,
has been evicted out of the cabinet. Nurses, public officers, I'm sorry. Sad news for public service. But if I'm allowed to add something to that meaning, the theory of a stroke of pen has died.
Has died.
The truth has finally surfaced. According to Mr. Pierre, and we need some younger rope to tie it on them.
Yes. Tie it on them. Who was the author of that last
I'm happy.
comment?
We go leave it to. We don't
We
call
go
it
leave it
that.
to. We go leave it open.
That any loans, if affordable, is made available to citizens of Grenada. The issue is not whether that's not the issue. The issue is you've placed a large group of Grenadian workers on contract. You've placed them in a position where they are unable to borrow through the normal financial institutions by putting them in a position where they do not have sustainable or sustained employment. And what that means is that you've made them vulnerable. You've put them in a position where you now have to try and create a special lending scheme for them to borrow. And I'm saying even the special lending scheme that you've created, most of them are not going to qualify for the loan. And they're not going to qualify because you've already placed them in a position to disqualify them. Because they would not have acquired land. They would not have life insurance because they're working on 6 months or 12-month contracts. And if they're working, and if the jobs they are doing are permanent jobs, jobs that are normal customer requirements for the government, they should be indefinite employees or permanent employees. They should not be on contract work. And if they're not on contract work, they will be able to take part, like the rest of the persons who are on permanent jobs, in the normal banking and financial and the credit union systems in Grenada. Right. And that is how you create wealth.
Absolutely.
That is how you sustain and raise your standard of living. That is how you're able to save money. That is how you acquire a home or acquire a piece of land, or you're able to start a small business on the side. But when you put people on contract work, and when there is no need to do so, then you are putting them in a vulnerable position, and you are doing so deliberately. And so the question you have to ask is, why are you doing so?
Yep.
And in my view, you are doing so because you want to have the ability to fire them at will. So you want to create job insecurity because you want to be able to manipulate them for your own ulterior reasons.
Right.
Right? So let's make this clear. For those contract workers who are able to qualify for that GDB loan, I'm happy for them. But a significant number of them will not be able to qualify.
Right.
And the question is, when they don't qualify, what happens to them? They remain on contract work.
So what has to be addressed is the fact that the government has to end this contract work, absorb the employees because they are doing jobs that are normal, customary, and required. Let's take, for example, a cook in a school. If you have a school feeding program, that job is required indefinitely. There is no reason to put a cook on a contract work.
Right.
And remember, when you put her on contract work, she has no pension. She has no chance of getting health insurance. She has no chance of buying life insurance because the incomes are very low.
Yep.
Right? And if you go to buy these things, they will say to you, well, we have no guarantee that you will have a job 6 months from now or 12 months from now. And so no one wants to deal with you from a financial perspective when you're in that position.
Right.
And I'm saying the job of the citizens, of the government, is to fight for its citizens, to protect its citizens, to encourage its citizens to be independent, not dependent,
Right.
not vulnerable. So that is the challenge we face. And I'm saying it is solvable by the stroke of a pen.
Yep.
And let me make this further point. It is actually illegal. The Employment Act clearly says that you cannot put someone on a fixed term contract, meaning these short term contracts, when the position they are filling is an indefinite one. So the government itself is breaking the law. The government itself is being lawless. So I'm saying in those circumstances, they should in fact end the contract work, regularize the status of the employees, and any other incentives that should be offered to them to make up for the period that they've been on contract jobs, in fact, should be given to them.
So the Prime Minister know all of that. His advice is to regularize everybody. But hear what he say today, give me. Because I want people to hear him.
Man is a liar.
To grind their halt. So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public source in the thousands. We do not have the government doesn't have the resources.
Well, just say the easiest thing to do is to absorb everybody and regularize them. How come now he talking something different? Let's take the call.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, my friend. Good afternoon.
Yes, Devon. Today, I've been listening a lot of clips and videos about men in the CNNP, what it may be. And I want to call on a few people today. There's 2 years after the election today, and I have some people here that I want them to answer some questions. And I will first of all call on the Prime Minister Tillman Thomas, ex-Prime Minister Tillman Thomas. I heard he made some statements about trust, transparency, and accountability, and he gave Scott, past Senator Scott, some blows, and he was when he did not turn in or stop the use of his cell phone, and the bill was still coming in. He gave him some serious blows for that. But I want to address you now, Mr. Tillman Thomas. I heard you mention that the present government is doing quite good, exceptionally well, as compared to the previous government. And I know you're listening because you always you said to me, you just listen to me. No, I want to know if I'm making sense today, Mr. Thomas.
Don't make this thing personal. Make your points.
Yeah. I'm not making nothing personal. I'm talking facts here.
Yeah, you are addressing Mr. Thomas. Address the facts.
Yeah. You said that the government is doing quite well. Now, you said also you cannot trust the assets of the previous government. They have to control the asset of the by so doing, you have to take certain measures. Now, I want you to tell me the Grenada Development Bank, the asset, the proprietors is the government of Grenada. And I want you to say to me if that is not corruption. That they are lending ministers in government millions of dollars. Mr. Thomas, I'm calling on you. Tell me if that is not corruption. I want you to give an answer to what is happening today. All over the state ability to pay people. Tell me what is going on. You talk about the shrimp farm. I want you to tell me how many persons in the use of government asset that take their boyfriend and girlfriend to overseas trip on the back of the Grenadian people. We're talking about trust and government asset. We want to know all these things, and I haven't heard you speak about the kind of CBI program that people getting cut, people getting shaken, and a lot of $1,000. Is not that corruption, Mr. Thomas? If that is not corruption, under your watch, the state asset, the state must control its asset, and the Prime Minister must see to it that the state asset is being protected. Those were your words. I hope you could recall it on the Bob Show. So I am saying to you now, all the things that is happening in this government is how would you protect the state asset? People, taxpayers' money. How can you protect it? By the ravishing, a gentleman renting for over $20,000 a month on the backs of poor people. Is not the state asset?
Right, caller.
All right, sir. All right.
All right. Let me take a break. It's on.
Tell me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, ear to ear. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over, they unleash the lawyer. Set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need to close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people.
The reason why I'm speaking. Let me take it.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. The voice of one crying out in the wilderness.
Yeah, what going on?
Not bad at all, Master. Called Devon. How you do, sir?
Not too bad.
And the
blessings.
And the listening audience, Grenada Carriacou, PD Matnik, and by extension, the people in the diaspora. This afternoon here, after 2 years, I need to make a statement to this administration after the reign of 2 years in office. And I am not being personal here. That is why I said I'm making a statement in general towards the Prime Minister and your cabinet ministers, including senators. 2 years ago, Mr. Dickon Mitchell, Prime Minister, you make a move to take the reign of power in Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Matnik, and I applaud you for that. As a Grenadian, I congratulate you for contesting the election and also to win it. You owe it to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Matnik, by extension the diaspora, where good leadership is concerned. But in order for you to gain the reign of power in Grenada, you didn't want to do the honest way. Because you wanted us to get into office badly. So what you did, my dear friend, you sit down together with your advisors in the diaspora and you put pen to paper to see the best way, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, that you and your colleague can be able to lie to the Grenada people, or you can be able to deceive them. You put pen to paper to learn to deceive the people. And I take a word from Mr. Pierre. You went to the lab and you lie in pile to see in what way you could convince the Grenadian people in order for you to be elected into the leadership of this country. You have been very much dishonest, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, especially you, for all the lying statement that you had made to the people that you convinced to vote for you, both NDC and NNP. And the reason why they vote for you, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, and your cabinet colleague, because they convinced that the things that you were telling them, you were speaking the truth. But all the time you know to yourself that you're willfully lying for them just because you will convince them and they will say, yes, that is what we want, and as a result of that, they vote you into office. Oh, what a tiny web you weave only to deceive. But right now, Mr. Prime Minister and your cabinet colleague, it is coming back to haunt you in your face. You lie so much to the Grenadian population. Me, as a strong NNP, you almost deceive me. I'm a hardcore NDC, and the world know that. Mr. Deacon Mitchell, when I heard you speak like that, you know what saved me to believe, no, this man is lying, is when you said that you go get a net to trap this agavum seaweed outside it. I said, no, this one look like Cartoon Network. I don't believe this thing. That is a savory bell. But you never knew, in conclusion, yes, sir, you never knew that all the lying and deceiving, you even deceived the churches. The pastors so shame today, they cannot open their mouth because of your deception. Sir, and your cabinet ministers. But what you all did not know, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, with all the intelligence that you intelligent, and you believe that you are the best thing, the brightest thing after sliced bread, you didn't know that it was people in Grenada recording every legal statement that you make to vomit it back in your face. That is intelligence, sir. After 2 years, you and your government has never made any progress in this country. And as a result of that, accept my sympathy, Mr. Prime Minister, and your administration. You are dead. Thank you very much, Master Call.
Well, Pastor, my thing about it is easier to deal with the promise of seaweed than making everybody permanent. Now, I'm playing these clips and I'm saying these things and them for people to be aware. Public workers fell for those promises during the election time, Devon.
Yeah, they did big time.
They believed,
because that's what people want.
They believed that they, even fellas are lying on the block tell me they will get pension. I say, how are they go get that?
Yeah.
See, Master Carl is stupid or what? You weren't Keith Mitchell and them? Even fellas are lying on the block believed
they could get pension.
And every person, a lot of persons who I know wore green jersey during the election tell me, Master Carl, at the end of the day, are voting for me because I want permanent.
And I want pension.
So play this thing what the Prime Minister said, you know, because I want them here.
You grind to a halt. So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public service in the thousands. we do not have the government doesn't have the resources on its own to absorb another 3,000 or 4,000 people. That's what we're looking at here. 3,500 persons who work in one way or the other government and are called contracted workers who do not have any pension. And so we simply cannot absorb that 3,500 to the existing list, because then you're going to perhaps 8,000 people in an unfunded pension arrangement, right? It's not sustainable and the country will not be able to pay, right? And therefore, what?
Stop it. So in essential, what the Prime Minister is speaking out two things there, you know, Devon. He's speaking out pension and he's speaking out regularization. So here goes. I want to tell people that he doesn't believe. He say he had too much people and they don't have the money to pay all these people to be regularized. And secondly, what he telling people before, get functional review for me. We'll take the call while you're getting functional, because I will draw the parallel. I will tell you how you're trying to trick people again. Let me take the call.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Carl.
Hey.
Is it Devon's voice I'm hearing there?
Yeah. Yes, my friend.
Devon, good afternoon. How are you doing?
What's up, family? Not too bad.
Okay, good. Well, I can't stay silent when I'm hearing this pension thing. You know, that's my area.
That's your baby.
And I have to make some comments. But I beg you for a couple of minutes to make my comments, right? We have already established that the utterances made by the NDC on the pension were misleading. You might want to use a heavier word.
They lie. They lie.
I'm saying it was very misleading.
Okay.
Right?
It's the same thing.
After getting into office, I think they knew that they were giving statements that were not correct. Right? They got into office and they started to prepare Grenadians for what Grenadians were told when the NNP was in office. Exactly what they say now is what NNP was saying. The Minister of Labour went in Parliament, and she said that pension reform and regularization has to go together. Right? The first time it was officially said. In the clip we just played, the Prime Minister gave numbers as to how many additional people that would be on the government's payroll. Regularization should have happened with a stroke of a pen. That's what we were told. Those things were easy to do. Right? Now we're hearing about this new pension program. I heard one union leader speak to it, and he said that they're not comfortable. One, there is no consultation on this. There is not sufficient consultation. Secondly, the proposed new pension is going to run afoul with the Constitution of Grenada on Section 92.
Yeah.
Of the
92 subsection 1 speaks to that.
1, yes, speaks to that. So whatever program they introduce should not be less favorable than the existing program. But this is speaking to people who are confirmed, people who are not regularized. I want us to understand what's happening here. Now, those persons who have not yet been regularized cannot claim protection under Section 92.
Okay.
Right? It's only those persons who are regularized. So the bulk of the people that have to come under the program,
The 3,000 you're talking about.
3,000, they are not regularized. So the Minister of Finance outlined the program for regularization. A few would have gotten regularized this year, a little more next year, and the bulk would happen just around election time. That's with the Imanis and others. So there's a strategy.
The functional review.
Once those persons are regularized, right? If they're regularized before a new pension program comes into place, they will be entitled to the pension
From the old one.
From the old one, right? So I just want us to understand the strategy. The strategy is to delay regularization.
That is
for
why.
as long as possible.
That is why they're trying to bring this legislation in October.
Right, but you see, what has to happen here is that the unions need to speak, right? Now, if the if the new program comes into effect, it would only affect those persons who would have been regularized after
during the time
the new program, right? So if the program comes into October and they regularize people in November, those persons will be entitled to the new pension program. So if you look at the rollout for this new pension program, or this regularization, sorry, because they definitely go hand in hand, the strategy is to bring in a few more people and bring in the bulk after the new pension program. Now, something that people are missing, the original drafters of the Constitution knew that public servants were paid part of their money on a monthly basis. I want you to hear me.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that when a government worker gets $1,100 a month from government, that's not all his salary.
Yeah.
He's going to get the balance of his money
on
at the end of his, exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is not that.
That is why it was not contributory. It is contributory, not knowing it is contributory.
It is just not accounted for by the government.
Yes.
Because what should be happening is that every public servant, at the end of every month, a sum of money should be put aside to take care of that public servant's pension. That's what should be happening, right? And if that happens, then when they retire in 3 years' time, you don't have a problem searching for money.
Like having an escrow account.
Exactly. So that was not done, right? So now it appears as though government have to find this big lump sum of money to pay pensioners. So if it's properly managed, it's not an issue.
But Stan,
yes.
I agree and I understand all what you're saying and you're right, you know. But my contention is the government made some promises, not taking all that you said into consideration. The issue was we go pay.
Deliberately they did that.
Well,
and it is unconstitutional and it was illegal to have contract workers not regularized.
Yeah,
and we will regularize as soon as in 12 months. That is the crux of the matter. You know?
They would say to you.
What you're saying is educational and we must know. But the present government is not keeping their word as a man.
You see,
and they're making excuses, and because they don't care about nobody, Minister Andrew could go and say we have a lot of money, we are surplus. We meet a lot of money in the treasury, but then the Prime Minister could come and say, you don't have money for that.
You see,
because everybody's speaking from a different platform and they're trying to make excuses.
Okay. So Carl, listen. What you just said there is correct, right? Now, some of your listeners would shut you out or they would block their minds when you speak that way. What I'm trying to do is to lay out the reality so people who are not politically biased or who are open-minded can see, look, is this not rocket science? The public servants are paid small wages because the government should provide for the pension. So it's not something that you're not doing them a favor. They're working for you and you are deferring the payment down the road.
Yes.
So the point I'm making is that it is not a case where government should be going to find money to pay. And I'm talking about government generally.
But the mere fact that when the NDC was campaigning and they telling people we will pay you pension and we will regularize you, they made it look like they're going to do a favor to the Grenadian public when it was not a favor.
All right, so that's why
it was by law, it was an entitlement to workers once you've been regularized or once you took the oath of one son. So they're trying to make it now as they give people a gratis, the 525 people they're talking about, they're trying to make it like they give them something. They don't give them nothing, they was entitled to it.
Right. So I'm saying to you, Carl, that there are some listeners not hearing you, right? But they may hear me.
Yes.
Understand what I'm saying? So
I know it's where you come from.
I'm bringing that perspective so that people could reason.
Yeah, they know my political bias, so they won't listen to me as they go listen to you.
Although I have my political bias.
No, but they only read you every day, so they will think.
So it's a situation where people have to understand that the system was designed for public servants and retirement to get their pension. I heard the Minister of Labor talking about public servants now getting 2 pensions, one from government and one from NIS. And I mean, that I am saying to myself, if this lady uses her head, the NIS
that head what?
is contributory.
Is a contributor you can
so
speak to.
I am putting my percentage. The employer, whoever the employer is, not only government, how about the employer?
Yes.
All employers have to comply with the law.
NIS
So
is not only about government.
Don't bring that pension into play at all.
That is not a parallel discussion.
We're talking about the government pension, and the Constitution provides for it. What people have to look out for is the strategy these guys are using to push back the regularization as far back as possible until they pass this new pension law. And I'm saying the trade unions need to get the act together and hold the government to the promises.
And
you said you're going to regularize, so here's the politics.
In 12
you said you're
months.
going to regularize these people, right? You give somebody said a stroke of the pen, we know that's going to work.
You give 12 months.
Do not,
you say
do
as
not,
soon
do not
as.
tie up. There's 2 different issues. The regularization and pension are 2 separate issues. Now that they merge them, because they're looking at the financial implications, which the previous administration was speaking to. And they made it seem as though this was
But they say it was a lie. When the discussion started, and Dr. Mitchell said he would set up that committee and thing, the impression they gave the Grenadian public that Dr. Mitchell was only stalling and so forth. And only to the same AG, you know, her first discussion in the upper house, saying if we go to follow the input of the 1958 laws, they go bankrupt, irreparable damage. So they knew. My thing about it is, Stan, we believed then, and we still believe that he must have pension reform. Because how it is written in the 1958 input, it could really bankrupt a place if you don't think.
Well, it would only happen, Carl, if you don't provide for it. And that's the point I'm making. That's what we're missing. It would only bankrupt the state if you don't provide for it from inception. If somebody starts to work with the government of Grenada from today, and the government of Grenada puts aside a portion of that person's earnings, because you're not paying them all their money, remember, there's a section of the money that you're holding back.
Because I'm glad you say that, you know. Because what a lot of people believe, pension review must be a new scheme. It don't have to be.
You see, the fact that these guys are saying they're bringing in a new pension program that will be contributory. Now, remember, that will be starting from scratch. So the people who get regularized now, that program is what they have to depend on to pay them the pension in the next 25 to 30 years. The same thing can be done with the existing program. You're accounting in such a way to recognize that new entrants, right? We have to do a formula. Either you pay me all my money, or if you say holding back some, put it away so I could get it later. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Either you pay me my full salary, and that's why public servants are paid less than private sector, and people need to understand that. It is done that way so that government would take care of the employment benefits down the road.
Because even gratuity, Stan, is set up in such a way like a forward loan.
Yes, yeah.
Which you pay over a 12.5 year period.
Exactly.
Because all that is supposed to be factored in pension. Right. So pension reform does not have to be a new pension scheme.
That's the point I'm making. You see, they bring, I mean, it's unfortunate that I had the experience when I came back from studies. I went to a certain commodity board and offered for free. I came back fresh and I wanted to put in the practices I learned. I offered for free to develop a pension program for them. I told them I wasn't going to charge them $1. I'm going to write it up. I didn't charge them, so they didn't want it. They brought in a company from Barbados to do it for them. It never happened. Anyway, so the point I'm making is that all that we hear about pension reform, I've never seen it in the document. Right? I don't know if the Insurance Association have seen it. I don't know if they have. But the consultation with the Grenadian public should be more intense, right? and I want to end now, but I want to quickly say, you see this problem NS have with saying that the contribution is not sufficient, so they have to cause people to pay extra. That's another matter. I mean, if I start on this, I won't end. But
no, we go deal that next Sunday. Call on that.
There are solutions, Carl, that can be introduced.
But before you go, in all of this pension talk and pension reform, and he have money and he don't have money, and we understand, as you just told us, the paying forward or the public workers nothing. You don't think it's fitting before all of this is done, even before the functional review and others, that a pay and grade exercise ought to be done?
Well, I always hear you talk about it, and I agree. But I'm also saying, in addition to that, I think this is of sufficient importance for the present administration to have a sit down with the opposition on this matter. I know if they did on this pension issue. Have a sit down with the opposition on this pension issue. They may get ideas, right? But you don't do consultation and handpick people who say what you want them to say, or come to say what you want them to say. And there are other people in society. There are a lot of Grenadians that have brilliant ideas as to what can happen to this, and they need to get an opportunity to make the contribution. So as we celebrate this second year in office, what we need to remind the administration is that 2 years ago they made promises to Grenada. They made promises to Grenadians. 2 years hence, they're trying to roll back on it. We need to remind them over that. We also need to remind the so-called stakeholders. They just call themselves stakeholders, but they're silent, right? These are issues that touches and concerns everybody. Speak to it. Don't let one union leader go and talk about he have a problem with the proposed pension reform and the others keep silent. You have to be united because you're talking about workers, right? At the end of the day, a program can emerge that would benefit all. Government have to recognize that they're not building from scratch. The system provides an avenue for them to make provision for persons who are going forward or going to be retiring in the next 30 years. And the last thing I want to say is that tell us that the proposed rollout of regularization was just something that was said. We need to get it revised.
The mama guy.
We need to get it revised so that the people, the bulk of the people, the bulk of those people who are not yet regularized, and we know why they're not. Quickly, I asked when I had a meeting with the IMF, a group I'm part of, and I asked that same question, the whole question of regularization. You wouldn't like to hear the answer they give. Anyway.
But besides that, me and you need to have a conversation.
No problem.
All right.
Okay then, take care. All right, bye-bye.
All right, Stan. Where pick up from that, Evan?
Stan. Why? I don't say much on this thing. It's just that what bothers me is the blatant lies, that continue to be told to the Grenadian people. Right? That is what, and it's the lie continues unabated. You see, because yes, we here might address certain things, and so, but like the Grenadian people not paying attention.
A lot paying attention.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, my friend.
Well, if I'm not available to me, I'll phone now, but later on I'll call on WhatsApp. But let me point out something that happened today. The Prime Minister, in an interview during the midday program, said that they came and stabilized, I'm using the word he used, stabilize the economy.
by meeting $500 and something million in the treasury?
They come and stabilize the...
I think he wanted to say hit and run the economy.
What stabilize was used, And on compounding this whole issue, they had Delma Thomas in Parliament saying that the rookies and them come in and pay pension when the former Prime Minister lied to them, not telling them how much money he had in the treasury that could have paid the pension.
And why they balling now?
That's the point. After they claiming that they have everything in place, I can't stay long. I'll be back just now, hopefully.
All right, my friend. You know, one of the things I cannot understand.
Before you go there.
Okay, yeah.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Evan.
Yes, my friend.
Good afternoon, Master Carl. Good afternoon. Ingrid, good afternoon. Evan, Friday night I was listening to Jane Sherman program, and she was speaking about the corruption that is taking place under this government. Right? And she played a clip on the Kellenberg report. And on the program there were two persons, Mr. Richard Duncan and the former Prime Minister, Tilman Taman. Right? And Kellenberg asked the question about the corruption that is taking place under this government, this present government. I know what happened. He never answered the question of what the corruption that is taking place under this government. He turned it, and he started speaking about the Shell's card, cell phone, and what is it take place at NN and the NMP. Right? They never answered the question. And what the former Prime Minister said, NMP used to exaggerate, and they say all kind of things about the present government, oh, they're young and they failing, the experience, and they go fail, and they go fail. And they say this government exceed expectation. And I go say, true, you're right in a way, because they exceed the amount of corruption that is taking place within this government. They exceed that. They go above and they reach among St. Catherine Peak. And the amount of lies that taking place under that corruption, they exceed the expectation of life. And even the ministers and them, they exceed the expectation also by going into the Grenada Development Bank and taking out loan. That what Prime Minister, I do believe, former Prime Minister was talking about. When they exceed the expectation in a negative way, in corruption and the lies, that's what he's speaking about. There's no expectation where they exceed in benefiting the poor people of Greater Caribbean Martinique. I know why they don't answer the question. It comes now, like, for you to get a work under this government, you have to stay quiet. You cannot oppose them. And if you're working with them, you cannot oppose them. If they're lying, you also say they're speaking the truth. They're doing good. Just to maintain a work and to get a work under this administration. So that's what I would have to say.
All right, thank you.
All right, my friend.
You did want to just say?
Yeah, I was saying it's something that I cannot, still trying to comprehend with our Prime Minister, President Prime Minister. When we talk about the contract workers is illegal and everything like that, but you know, for the last 2 years, I want to ask a question to the party hawks from NDC and even the government. How many persons has this government employed permanently so far? And how much did they put on contract for the last 2 years? Let's take the call. Good afternoon and welcome. Hello?
Good afternoon, Devon.
Yes, my friend.
Good afternoon, Devon, Master Carl, D.
Blessings.
Devon.
Yes, my friend.
We go way back. Devon, in 2008, when we was NDCI, did any time you ever see the union ever oppose anything the government was doing? Just remember that, in 2008. You understand? So, presently now, Devon and Master Carl, Igwe, the union have a 50% to play in this whole thing. The union pushed to get NNP out of power. The union refused when Dr. Mitchell called on them to come and sit down, let me negotiate this thing. You understand? Just remember that. The union never show up. They oppose everything. You understand? What the NNP was saying. And today now, they get themselves with their pants down. So they don't know how to come forward. They see Grimes coming forward, peace between her, because they're hurting. The government make a turn on them and decide to do things behind their back. That's why they give the nurses the $500 and the $1,000 to the doctors. Just think about it. Follow the paper trail. You understand? They plan their thing in the basement in New York. They do all kind of stupidness. And the union was involved. The union was involved because everybody is revolutionary body. That's the way you have to look at it, you know, Devon. It's not the good of the country, you know. We partner. And after that happened, right now, we have another one coming up again. You understand what I mean? Because we have those who stand on the sideline and pushing for a certain brother of mine to be prime minister. But when you look at the body around him, what you seeing? Revolution again. Look at it, Devon. You was there. Look at it. And you guys have a good one.
Yes, my friend. Have a blessed evening.
Yeah, Devon.
Yeah, the pension issue continues to be a sore, right, on all of us. It's like, you know, when you get bed sore, and you can't. It's like that. And persons we want. Look, at the beginning of the program, Master Carl said that we are going to put out information to make you understand much more of what these guys are doing. And that is what we are prepared to do, giving you the facts. Why is it that after campaigning, right, that contract work is illegal? Why were you complaining about you want to regularize all workers by the stroke of a pen? And 24 months now you're in office, 2 years, almost half of your term. And the whole question of regularization, right, and permanent work for persons is out the window. The discussion is mute at this point in time. You have the Imani thinking of, well, what is going on with us? You have the ordinary cooks, right, who you continue to employ and give them contracts still. You have workers within the different ministry that you employ. You're not employing them and make them permanent. You're giving them contracts. Mr. Prime Minister, what are you saying? You are lying. You are continuously lying to the Grenadian people, right, of certain things that you can and cannot do. Tell us the truth. Well, we understand why you had to lie to get into office. And most of the Grenadian people fell for it. Now you're in a bind. You can't go back, you can't go forward, right? Because, you know, liars have no memories, you know. Liars have no memory, and we all know that. Because in life, we all tell lies now and then. Sometimes we forget if we even tell a lie to our own mother or a woman or a sister or whatever, and it catch up with us.
Yes, sir.
That is what is happening to NDC right now. The lies catching up to you. You hit and run so much, right? That right now you meet up a brick wall. It is time for us as a people to pay much more attention to the utterance of these guys. Because liars are destructive persons. When you continue to lie for no reason, it becomes a problem.
You grind to a halt. So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public service in the thousands. We do not have the government doesn't have the resources on its own to absorb another 3,000 or 4,000 people. That's what we're looking at here. 3,500 persons who work in one way or the other government and are called contracted workers who do not have any pension. And so we simply cannot absorb that 3,500 to the existing list, because then you're going to perhaps 8,000 people in an unfunded pension arrangement, right? It's not sustainable, and the country will not be able to pay, right? And therefore, what?
So why you lied?
So play the clip where you say 12 months for me, please.
The Congress commits to regularizing the status of contract workers who are working for the government and Imani workers who are working for the government within 12 months of assuming office.
We are 24 months now. You are celebrating your second anniversary, right? As emerging as victorious in the elections. And you are up to this day, you have not addressed that issue, right? You continue to make excuses to the Imanis, to the poor and vulnerable. Just like how as soon as you come in, you attack them, you take away money from them. I mean, the most vulnerable of our people, You take away $150 from a majority of them. And then 1 year later, 1 year and months later, you return some of the money to some of them. I mean, why you continue to hitting Grenadians like that?
And run.
And run.
Hit and run government.
We're going to stop you. We are going to stop you. Soon time. Right? They say all rope have an end. We're going to stop you. You cannot continue to beating and slapping the Grenadian people in their face with lies and deceitfulness and so, and don't expect to get caught. One day you run, we're going to catch you.
Client master call all Grenadians is a police.
He bring me back to the revolution. All Grenadians were soldiers and militia. You couldn't hide. You couldn't hide. And some of you within that NDC should know that. We're going to find you. We're going to get you. We're going to make you pay for the things that you continue to do to the Grenadian people. Disgusting. I mean, you guys don't watch yourself in a mirror, just watching it and just lie. And I ain't using no fancy words and everything like that and thing. You are lying continuously to the Grenadian people. You need to stop. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yes, good afternoon to each and every one of you.
Yes, my friend.
I'm just taking it short and
yeah.
Right now, where you see is if you get all the clip what tell you are you just taking them away for so everything stops. Just talk with all the motive what you get already. So have a blessed afternoon.
All right, my friend. We want to seek you all the clips and put them in our archives where they can't find them.
Back up a lot of places.
Yes, because you see, that is retribution running behind them. No. Yeah, they feel they can hit and run the Grenadian people. Retribution. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Brother Devon.
Good afternoon, my friend.
You know, you get a lot of licks for that word hit and run, you know.
Well,
you know, a few people don't like to use that word hit and run.
Well, say what, they go to just digest it, you know.
You know, government. Igwe and Mr. and Brother Carl.
Hey.
I want to say special good evening to you guys. I want to say to Brother Stan Phillip, I want to thank him very much for bringing that enlightenment to the knowledge of
yes. Knowledge.
He bring the conversation and a deeper intellectual and you know, he bring out something that the Grenadian people, it was told to the Grenadian people, but it was never explained to them, and it was only pinched to them. It wasn't given to them in any deep portion, and he bring it out today, you know, in a manner. It was a bit intellectual in a way that there was some people who would not understand it. I want him to simplify it also, so that people with that simple of mind could really understand it. Because it was being told to us, and it has always been argued to us, is this non-contributionary and we don't contribute and we never think. But the British knew what they were doing when they gave us that pension plan. However, because of the slowness of our economy and the way we grew, how our economy was expanding, not in the way it should. And I'm not blaming NMP for this, because we had many obstacles in the way that created that. We end up, if we continue going on that road, we could end up a road where we could bankrupt our country. And I think Dr. Mitchell was trying to explain this to the people, and Deacon one of them was trying to make the people feel, no, that is not a problem. The problem is Keith Mitchell just don't want to pay. He worthless, he don't want to pay. And today now they're coming back to the same people and begging the people to understand. And instead of they bring out the truth to the people, they're still trying to trick the people. A guy just said something there about revolutionaries and what. It is good that we're free to speak. But at all times, we must remember, the guys who are revolutionaries, they are Grenadians. And they have a right to contribute to the development of this country. They were with NNP, they were with NDC. But I'm going to tell you, the people who is doing this to us, and he don't quoting them, is a bunch of old GNP people. They come from the GNP faction. These are the people who really doing that kind of worthlessness to us. And they're towing along with these so-called revolutionaries because some of them feel they go, somehow or some way they will come back in the spotlight. But to blame it on the revolutionaries and saying this one want to come back in power, let me tell you this. This thing about this revolution thing, it's gone. It's in the past. And we must focus not trying to prevent progressive people from being part of the development of this country or even being part of the leadership of this country. We must never go down that road where we're trying to do that and blaming it on revolution. No, there are revolutionary people who backs the NDC and there are revolutionary people who backs the NNP. And I want us to focus on letting these old GNP who feel that they're better than certain class of people, them who have this class structure with them, they are the ones who they are the ones who feel that we should be punished. These old NNP and them should be fired and go home and suffer and all this kind of thing. That old GNP remnants. So I know I will be beaten for that. But I'm sorry.
It is nice that you speak to it.
Yeah, I know.
But before you go,
I'm sorry.
Somebody just messaged me, somebody who claimed to be in tongue wrong. As it relates to the pension and non-contributory and so on. Well, as you see, after 1979, the revolution, administrations then never saw it or understood they had to put things in place for that pension scheme. Because remember, after 79, the NIS came into being, which was contributory. And what they say in persons didn't believe that in 1958 import would have come back. So things was not put in place financially to absorb that exorbitant cost.
I believe that.
So,
and I understand that.
So all that must be said in the pension debate.
Surely.
Because you see, I agree about pension and not at all against pension. But we must be fair and we must have, as Stan said, we must have this uncomfortable conversation truthfully. We must not have it on partisan or on party. We should never put Grenada on partisan and party. We must never put crime on partisan and party because it affects all of us.
Surely.
And the part where somebody say the Prime Minister saying how they had to stabilize the economy. How could you stabilize the economy what you should do better than yours now? You saw a growth by 6%, now it's 3.9%. So how are you stabilizing something why you should do better than you?
That word comes from the belly of lies. You see, he was lying so much that you have to use that word to justify lies. That word only comes from the belly of lies. It comes to justify lies. They meet a good economy. They meet so much money in the treasury that they could have boast. They boast more than NNP about on the victory of NNP. You know? In fact, if they didn't even boast about this amount of money, they meet a lot of people would not even know that NNP was doing that well, or was doing so well.
That is true.
It's them who brought NNP out to the spotlight and tell you, look, we just removed a very good government. Them who did it. And today, no, he's trying to say about stability. We wasn't running down, NNP wasn't breaking no neck. It wasn't running down a hill and breaking neck. So to come and say stabilize. So, and all the projects and the hotels and things are coming in and the revenues that we raised, NNP is the one who put all these
Those were they demonstrate against.
And they fought against it. And it's NNP that put these things in place and today them are the one inheriting it and riding with it. So I don't understand the word stabilize there. I think something wrong with the Prime Minister when he used the word stabilize. Something wrong with it.
He must lie. Simply put, he must lie.
Yeah, he must lie.
He pulled that one out of the belly of lies.
Before you go, I noticed down in your neck of the woods on Friday, I mean, the police and so was in full operations against the vendors and so around the market square.
Yeah, they had they wanted to correct something that they say that is wrong. They wanted people to go back in the market and such like, and they're using that show of force to do so, you know. And the marketing is so complicated that, talking about it is like, I think even the people who is attacking it doesn't understand it. And doesn't understand the vendors. You could build, you see that market there? You could put air condition inside it, and you could put it cool and nice and all.
They still coming out.
They still
coming outside.
Ask the reason why the people, you got to get the reason why the people come back out on the street or the edge of the market to sell. Why? And if you could find that problem, you could solve that problem, then all the problems solved with the people. There is a reason why. People are not attracted to go in the market because the market's spoiled. And I say this is my own opinion. Since the market becomes a place to sell rum and sell things, there's a lot of people who don't really want to go there. Because they see the market as a place, they see it as a place
Veggies alone.
Rum selling and drug selling. And anyway, you see rum selling at that level, drugs follow it. Other drugs follow it. And a lot of people don't want to go inside there and shop during the week and make it a hot spot. But the people who go inside it, they don't really go to buy the products of the people who sell inside it. So the people have to come out by the edge of the street where the people walking to see if they could get $1. And it's very ticklish, very, very ticklish. And any politician going behind that have to solve that problem. The market supposed to come back like how it was traditionally. You can't get the market to be a place where man could just go in the market to get junk and come out. You just imagine you go in the market to get junk and come out.
Yeah, you go in the market
and that's a daily thing, eh?
Yeah.
The market should not be a place for that. A market should be a place where you're attracting people. I want to say attracting thousands of people. People going in there and get the best deal. People going in there to buy things and looking for things, and trade taking place. But the market's spoiled because of what it becomes and what it was turned to. So, it's ticklish.
Before you go, you there?
Yeah, there.
When the court ruled in the Humlin Armstrong pension issue in 2009, the National Democratic Congress was the government of the day. And the Prime Minister, based on information, instructed the Attorney General to appeal the decision. So when NDC come and talk about pension, if August tongue near to Mona, they can't tell me nothing about pension.
And the finance minister at that time was in full blast of it.
So they could go online, the listeners and the viewers, and read up the Humlin Armstrong decision. And they go make up their mind. Facts check me. Make up their mind. At the time, the Prime Minister, Mr. Tillman Thomas, here, the same one I was on TV the other day, claimed that the decision only applied to one person.
Oh, how come?
That how the National Democratic Congress treat with pension and with people. You don't have to take my word for it. Go and read up the Humlin Armstrong thing.
I mean, we already know that anytime NDC is in office, they target workers. The most vulnerable of people, workers. That's who they target, and senior citizens.
My brother, again, I'm leaving, but I want to say to you guys, your program becoming very educated, and it's very progressive, and I love that program, and I think we all should encourage more and more Grenadians to listen to this program.
Well, you help us do that too.
I'm doing that.
Share it up.
I'm sharing it and I'm doing that. And I want to tell you guys, keep this program up and keep the unity and stay blessed.
Yes.
All right, bless.
Thank you.
All right, my friend. Yes, and a blessed evening again to all our viewers and listeners, wherever you are, from as far as Marquee, right down on the eastern corridor, go right down to the south.
We have people in
Granas,
Vendom,
Bolio, Willis,
Calivini, my friend, Calivini,
St. John's, St. Mark's. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon to Mr. Devan Romain.
Good afternoon,
Calvin. And Master Carl, Mr. Andre Donald, and Grenada and the whole home and abroad. Yeah, well, one of my colleagues just speak there in the tongue of St. George.
Yes.
This is the first time I see what's going on. I mean, we had issues over the years with the market and vendors and vending. But this is the worst. You know, when I see they take a lady from Tivoli and bring her in Central Police Station, 2 o'clock, she having a cat, and the other one, you know. But, you know something, and I know a lot of you all might like what I have to say, and the listeners.
I'm using a voice assistant to convert your voice to text and respond to you.
Hello?
If you want to...
I think I'm press something, Dave. She'll call back.
She'll call back.
I have one on the WhatsApp.
Yes.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon. Afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, my friend, what's up?
Master Carl. Afternoon, Devon.
Yes.
Afternoon, Igwe.
Yes, Nito.
Yeah, gentlemen, here's what. Today is NDC second year in office as a political party, and we congratulate them. They reached that far. Yeah? So here's what we had for the last couple of months. What they come up with. Of course, you know, to me, what they say in one of the biggest achievements is issuing a guy some letter or some cell phone bill. But lo and behold, our goodly friend, Miss Simon, exposed some of these blatant and flagrant corruption in our eyes, right in front of our eyes. And the NDC supporters, or some of them, would not grasp these stuff. So now, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell was on basically 2 shows today, 2 programs. And he was basically saying that the loan that Honorable MP Andy Williams got is because he was a businessman. And he had business dealings with the bank before. No problem with that. But there's a word in public life called recluse yourself. If you become a minister and you know the rules of these institutions, you're supposed to recluse yourself. Right? Like presidents do and prime ministers are supposed to do. But the mere fact that he didn't do that, it shows you the character of the man and the party that he served. And then the board now also, which was put together at a certain time, which consists of a lot of NDC known hierarchy, and people not seeing anything wrong with that. No, nobody's saying you're not supposed to get a loan from the development bank, but you are a minister now. You're supposed to recluse yourself. Secondly, so it's alleged that other ministers got loans and using the money to do what? Buy house and all kind of things like that.
So why didn't speak about it? Why you didn't speak about the other ministers? Why is only one he spoke of?
Well,
you see that we know. Wow.
Because
we know.
That's what he
Prime Minister. Yeah, that he
So you don't know the others?
Yeah.
Nah.
So
That
so
we
as
know.
far as you know, so what I'm saying, if it's
Prime
not true,
Minister.
Mr. Carl, as I'm saying right now, if it's not true and we are calling the minister's name, sue us. If we're wrong, or
Yeah,
sue.
if it's not true,
because that
sue.
is what exactly prove us wrong. Because here's what's going on. The bill, the phone bills of Mr. Scott reach up to a certain amount, and former MP Tobias was on a program in Carriacou Thursday ago. And I listened to the program because I listen to all programs. And this guy was giving his opinion on how the thing went down. And that happens all about, right? What I'm saying is that when these things happen and one person is held accountable, yes, you take the fall. But look at it behind. So when the Prime Minister of the day is saying that he knows as one person, so the Prime Minister telling me that you don't know of the contract guy in the carnage that just started a business in 2023, yeah? You tell me the ministers are taking all the monies in banks and other people that do not kind of nonsense in the lottery, the Prime Minister don't know about that? So what are you trying to say? This man is not in charge or on top of what is happening in Grenada?
But he flying
that
out
makes
every.
it more dangerous.
He flying out every time. So
he might know one of them ask for money. You don't know the next one ask for money too.
You don't know the next one ask for money. Or the others.
So you didn't know the next one go ask for money too.
This makes it more dangerous. And what is sad about all these things, right? The former member of the NMP, Delma Thomas, she is sitting in cabinet with these people, and it's like this lady Compass, she whole globe gone, she has gone, because you can't tell me you are the Minister of Social Development and all these things are being done and said to the seat members, and you are not saying a word to debunk it. I mean, come on. I mean, the level of two-faced hypocrisy in this country right now is unreal. You cannot support a political party blindly. And I would not support NMP if NMP is doing nonsense. I would call it out. You have to be factual. You have to be real. Too much shit is happening in Grenada. Too much nonsense is happening in Grenada. And we are turning a blind eye to it flagrantly. I mean, we have to stop. I mean, come on. Politics right now is dividing us, but we need to get ourselves back on track. Grenada is 50 years old, and we're going further, but we need to get on track. Too much nepotism, too much cronyism, and too much damn corruption, man. Come on, man. Every day you're hearing something new, and the Prime Minister seems not to know. Spouses traveling with MPs, MPs traveling with spouses, alleged sex videos going up on the place. Come on. Then, lastly, before I go, a piece of joke. When the Shalon Scott issue came out, a gentleman, a mouthpiece of the NDC, put out a picture of what pertains to be a receipt of some tax payment. Look at the date of the tax payment. Look at the hour of that receipt. I had a big laugh. You know why? If all they feel like they can use AI more than us, joke you're all making. Come again. Have a good one.
All right, my friend.
Yeah, there one.
Yeah, there's so much, and the last caller pointed out a number of things that is going on in our country, and we're not getting much information about it, from the Grenada Development Bank to the issue of the repair of the cable and wireless building where the police headquarters is supposed to go, and that sort of things.
Hello? Please stay on the call.
Hello?
Good afternoon. Sound like Cammy.
What she do the phone?
Good afternoon. She touched something.
Something she touched on her phone, you know.
Yeah, there's a whole, list of unanswered questions that we ask. And for the Prime Minister to blatantly come out and lie, and I consider it a lie. Right? The only person that he knows of concerning the Development Bank about loans is Andy Williams. Prime Minister, you lie.
Okay, you must sign.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, guys. Good afternoon. Igwe.
Hey.
Carl.
What's up with you?
Big up all the gentlemen on the program. And I got one question I want to ask you guys. I've been listening for weeks, all the corruption, all the mishaps, all what's going on. But I got one question. Can we honestly survive another 2.5 years of this crap?
I'm praying to God that we could.
I want y'all to explain that. 2.5 years more, this talk thing. Now work, my youth. I have to change, my boy. Yeah? Protests had to happen. People had to go on the road. People had to come off their work and go in on the road and talk about this. It's only in Grenada we do all this talking. Jamaica and them place, boy, things change already, Jed. That nigga run already. What I'm telling you. Bless up, yeah.
Respect, my friend. You know, and so much things, and when you hear the chief honcho coming out and talk nonsense about he has no knowledge about all these things, that's crazy. So you want to tell us, Mr. Prime Minister, that you don't know of the letter that was given by the Minister of Sports to the chairman of Lotto? Could you stand there and tell us that, Mr. Prime Minister? We need to know. We need to know what is going on. We need to know what is going on with the overruns with the cable and wireless building that is designated to be the headquarters of the Royal Grenada Police Force. We need to know all of that. We need to know what is going on with the housing authority, right? And all those small houses and bathroom and toilet that you build in. We want to know what is going on within the Ministry of Housing, Mr. Prime Minister. So many unanswered questions. We need to know, and we will continue asking. We will continue to ask the questions, because as long as you as Prime Minister continue to be on a mic lying to the Grenadian people, we will challenge you and we will bring the facts. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
Good afternoon. I called just now, and the phone, it come on, and then somebody else ended up speaking. That has always happened. I don't know why. I speaking and then nobody answered, but somebody else take the call. Anyhow, to the good afternoon to Ziwe, Devon, Mastercard, Andre Donald. Good afternoon to Dr. Mitchell, Peter David, the whole crew, the NNP opposition, all the members, all the NNPites home and abroad. And I agree with this last caller there. We just keep talking and talking. We as Grenadians suffering. We is suffering. Something wrong with us in this country. Like it was under NNP. The Grenadian people, they had a placard and they are there on the street. It's time. It's time we as the Grenadian people come out and go out there and demonstrate to the Prime Minister and his members what we're going through. Right up to now with placard. Well, because they're not listening to us on radio. They're listening, but they don't care. And march up to the complex. March up to the complex where they had the office and stand up and demonstrate itself with what's hurting us in this country. We is suffering. We suffering. We going through too much. People stress. Young people stress. Down to Saturday, a young man come. Every minute he come in and buy a sell cigarette by the one. I said, child, why you smoking so? He just call me mommy. Mommy, we stressed out. You understand? No work. Some of them they don't have a job. So they come in town, they beg their partner for $1, they buy a cigarette. A man light up a split, they take a to pull. They beg for the other partner buy a beer, they ask, they beg for a beer. You know, I see that every day. Nobody telling me to come on the radio and say that. You know, I see that every day. Young men, they reach on the terminal early to get they work with a busman to pull the door for the $10 for the breakfast. So it's sad. They need jobs. We need to get out there and demonstrate. We need to get out there with the placard and let us write what is affecting us in this country. How are you afraid, D.P. Mitchell and them? What's wrong? How are you afraid? Are you afraid to get out? To walk the street of Grenada and to complain with what's going on here? All Grenadians, they're not shell. They don't want to say nothing, but everybody's shushing. Everybody's shushing what's going on. Eh? Are you scared of Deacon Mitchell? You're on the radio Monday to Sunday speaking about issues and things that is happening. And these people is not bothering with y'all. They're not bothering.
So we go continue.
We need, but yes, I don't say y'all want to continue. Yeah. But we as a people, we need to get out on the street. We need to face these people. We serious. Something wrong with us in Grenada? Because the commission and not studying us, we could talk about them from now till they're 4 years old. They don't bother with us. We could talk about the flying and taking plane. That man in bothering us. He don't study us. None of them. Action people don't know. We have to get out there. People have to get up and get. It's time.
Right,
peaceful. We're going on demonstrate ourselves peaceful and speak about things that is affecting us in this country. We ain't going to look for war. We write up what we want and we placard and we march up there. Let them see, let the world see. Very peaceful. The police have to give us permission. Hey, civil servants suffering, they're afraid to talk. Under NNP, they would have taken the street. So something wrong.
Well, you
afraid, Deacon Michel. We afraid.
You have democracy on the NNP, you know. But
we afraid, Deacon Michel. And that's what he know. Yeah. So whatever they're doing, they'll continue doing it. Ha! All you have a good evening.
Kami, before you go, that thing I sent for you. You did mix it?
I put a little water, but no cockroach. The whole terminal is German.
Watch me. What I sent for you. You get a gallon of water. You see those blue Glenel bottle, the gallon size?
Yes, I have.
Right. Get one of that and not full it right up. Right, about 3/4 and pour all the chemical in, shake it, and then get in a little spray bottle so you have it there. You could just use it every time.
I hear you, sir.
Okay?
I want some to buy. I want some to buy.
I don't selling you. Just ask you
I
what you
want.
want.
Why you won't tell me?
No, I will give it to you. I will send it down for you. Just tell me what you want.
I have
Okay?
to get up and get Devon and Mastercard. Police officers come in and complain to me. I see incident happening and they're walking away because they're fed up with what's going on. You know, it's sad that some police had to remove people they know. People they know in the village and bring them in Central. You understand?
That is sad.
It is really sad. It is sad in the tongue of St. George. Nobody can do nothing. Yeah? All my life I know you are vending. You know, if I say, Lord, if I used to vend in my road, they'd have locked me up. It's a good thing I'm paying all the current. So that I have otherwise they put me somewhere long to get rid of me. Although they're fighting hard on that terminal to get rid of me. All I could tell the people, continue praying and trust God. Because every day I wake up, I say, Lord, I wish I wake up, I could hear in the news, they said 2 of these people resign from the NDC. I just ask God that is good news when I don't hear it. Because no, you're laughing. There is a lot of people that is suffering. I am going through a piece of my mind in Grenada. It's because I know the God I serve. I'm here sitting. You understand? And I thank God for a good child of mine. That when I have a problem, I will call him and say, boy, your mother can't make it today, you know. You know? The medication, every day they're on. Every other day I have to buy a gas in getting $80. You know? And 3 gas for one of my legs. Just to keep it clean. And I had $80. And I'm a poor woman that had to find the money every other day. So, guys, I want to tell you, I have food. I have food in my house. But it's the bills. And nobody is buying clothes. I have clothes. Nobody will come and buy clothes now. People looking for food to eat. People looking for food, local feed. Yam, these things they're looking for. And it's separation. Separation. A lot of people don't understand. Have a good evening, Grenada.
All right, Camille, you take care.
Matthew, Mr. Watt, everyone I want you, Mr. and Ben Oxford. These are people that will call to me. I appreciate that. Have a good evening.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Let's take a break. It's time.
Tell me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, ear to ear. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over, they unleash their lawyer. Set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need more close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people. The country taking a beating. So maybe I repeating. Go. They're like a natural disaster. Now. 10 times worse than Ebola. Like a dog with fleas and tongue on their knees. And I begging streets turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing. Now this is my humble petition. Announce the date for election. Go now, please. Accidental, detrimental, could be lethal. Are you willing to take that chance? Much too seedy, they too greedy, eyes too beady. Honeymoon and before the romance, we expect corruption, but now without check or interruption. That a few might stuff the pocket, but not by the pocket.
They are calling, eh?
No.
They have one on
Yeah, we do. We have one on the WhatsApp. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Loud and clear.
And he's going Devon. Hello, guys.
Yes,
How
good
you doing?
afternoon.
Mr. Card,
Hey!
we are facing some terrible times. I am living here for a while, right? And I am meeting these people's supporters, and it is very bad and dangerous because all the lies that are perpetrating, these people are drinking it like Jim Jones and all the people who died. And if this thing continues, we would be in a very bad situation dealing with these wicked people in the government. Carl, when we used to be on the earlier before the election, I'm getting a beat. Let me turn that off. God. When you were on the program saying and preaching, I said, Carl, we need to go out into the community. Yes, the radio is reaching just far, but we have to go into the community. Them having town hall meeting, but Dr. Kit and them started this town hall thing long before them, you know. And I don't know why they stopped, but we have to get down on the ground in the community, Charles, and Devon, we have to get down into the community and talk to people and meet people. Now this Mr. talk about why we sitting, so this thing is a spiritual, effective thing, what is going on in Grenada, and people don't know it. I know it. Well, the people have a gap on Grenadians. It's a spiritual darkness because they tell God what they want. And God said, let it be. So I don't know when the Lord will release us, but we and our part has to do what we have to do. As I saying to y'all, my main thing is that we have to start to get down into the community now. We can't wait till another 2 years or so. Now we have to start that, and we have to start organizing and doing this network of talking to people, exchanging ideas. And another thing, Carl, with this $500 thing, if we hear this this thing about giving them $500 now, if you have some time, maybe during the week, or maybe when people working and want to stay too long on Sunday situation, that you will get the lady who did the social work, and give people the right information. Because then people say, oh, we're getting the $500 now. I say, no, it is the biggest lie. Anyhow, Carl, I have much more to say, but let me give other people a chance.
All right,
Thank you all for listening.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
My friend in Marianne, good afternoon. And I hope everything is okay. Let's take the call.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. I support Kami in one way. Because he said that the only talking and nobody going out on the street. But remember, they're afraid too, you know. Because remember, the Prime Minister said the revolution inside there now. So they're afraid gone. All the gun they have it, they want others bring all their gun, and their gun they inside to kill people. They don't check in on that.
All right, caller. I need to say something here now, Devon. 2 years into the Prime Ministership of Deacon Mitchell, before he became Prime Minister, he spoke about the NNP afraid to go before the media to be scrutinized. And he mentioned some names.
Yeah.
He mentioned some names. He talked about Carly Strait, he talked about Kayla and Bob, Dr. Bob, he talked about GBN. So, with all these allegations of corruption facing this government, the doctor refused to ask the Prime Minister today about corruption.
He afraid.
I don't know.
I watch him. I find him moving
Was
shaky.
it a massive cover-up? Or did the Prime Minister send the questions to you
He moving shaky.
before?
I ain't like his movement. He does be more punchy. More shaky they are.
Because every time an NLP person go on a program, he asking them about convention. But corruption.
Biased
You don't asking the Prime Minister nothing about corruption. He tell you only one person in GDP.
And
You,
you take it
you
for
hear
granted.
what other people, you don't asking him how the
You
other.
take it for granted.
And that's how the thing come in. Even the journalists and them already take this side in.
Long time.
You get bought in.
You know, but it's ironic, eh? With all this thing going on, have you heard of, I mean, the journalists in Grenada, with the exception of one or two of them, investigating and sharing out information?
Who's the one or two of them?
Well, you have, is it Linda Straker? Right? She does her piece. And then...
Who else?
Well...
Nobody else.
Well, let me think now. You thinking for yourself. You know, I don't know that.
Nowhere.
You know nothing about nowhere, no.
You know, easy.
You understand? But you see, the thing is, we have journalists here just not investigating and bringing out the facts. And it's right there in front of their face. But again, a lot of them, they bias too, so.
Yeah, they buy in.
Good afternoon.
They want just one thing. You know, listen to me. The people that have the power in their hand, we the Grenadian people. You know, if civil servants go to work tomorrow morning and they decide they're not touching the pen, they're not touching the thing on the computer, that is the end of the NDC. If they decide not to work tomorrow and do nothing, the people that have the power, the people that have the power, I don't know why they're scared.
I'm using a voice assistant to convert your voice to text and respond.
You know something I'm very much disturbed about? Every day I wake up and I look and I see the acting Prime Minister, Minister Andy Williams, right, in that portfolio. My heart bleeds. You know why? This man went openly and confessed to the world, right, that he bunks a number of checks. Right? He confessed to the world, to the Grenadian people, of all the wrong things that he does. He was still elected. And now he is, acting Prime Minister. Come on, Grenadians. Are we seriously thinking of the situation that we're in? Look at what, Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, caller.
Afternoon.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
You're speaking a bit low. Speak up a bit and make your contribution, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Why are you trying to disguise
I
your voice?
understand.
Well, I'm there now thinking me. What
you
a
understand,
voice singing like me people.
Plain teenage.
That you are talking about now. Wake up in the back there.
Plain teenager and all kind of thing on the phone.
She catch me there in the start.
You're playing Dick now, what?
Now me people are calling, oh, she's singing so. Somebody tired?
Listen, guys.
Yeah.
I listen to Alan Bob this morning, eh? And you have a lot of questions. When the man gives you the old views, Alan Bob not coming up to this point with the man, you know?
You're just saying absolutely.
You check it up? When he asked, the last question he asked you with the acting Prime Minister, one name he called. I hear the amount of people what they on the backbone loaned, but one name. Why is one name? Because it means people saying only one name? Huh? I listen Friday evening with Jenny. I listen this morning with Kellan Bob. And the Prime Minister not like him, going straight away
What? Imagine when I hear Devon say that government is a hit and run. Next thing when the program finished, Shaggy bust out that song with that hit and run thing. Well, I laugh that money, eh? I laugh. What? Tell me, are you able to tell me what really going on? It's like everybody just every minute just saying something every day we come on the program. And then nothing no going on, you know. I don't listening, I don't watching.
Eventually,
everything getting good, the thing getting bad to us.
Eventually the barrel go full up, you know, and when that barrel full up, it go overflow. And that's when Grenadians go take matters into their hand.
Are you not watching? Are you not watching? Are you not listening? This monka thing is going on. Oh, you making the excuse so fast. You have another forum to go on. That's the excuse you giving Kellenbaum. Prime Minister, just one program. One thing I have to ask you. You come with the bank thing. You giving one like officer thing with the tie-upness. That with that pension thing. You don't listening what's going on with this man and that pension thing? It's like telling you like things people that don't know about nothing going on in Grenada, you know?
Damn, don't know.
Oh, no, man, boy. It's time for us to get out of these people and them. It's time. And go eat. This kind of thing I said. I watch it actually, they show you what's going on in the market. You check it out, watch them. I see them doing what they're doing. And you know what? A policeman, you know? That's what I vote for.
Yes.
So what's going on? Tell me. That's what I vote for.
What do you
I repeat that thing. I just repeating. And here, you know, well, hear me now. Mr. Pedro say we grabbing things and come on that station and say things. But I just listen. Nobody can call the radio station and come lies and saying things are going on and listen twice, three times.
They dirty bad.
That's what we vote for.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, lady.
Take care.
Mr. A.J. Williams.
Yes.
I have some questions for you. South St. George constituency update. Over the past 2 years, the result from our home improvement program is as follows. I hope Dennis Cornwall taking note of that. 1. Over 100 new houses was constructed. I want somebody from the south call me and tell me if that is true. Over 150 persons benefited from housing assistance. So that means 100 house bill, 150, like 250.
That's a lie.
And over 50 bathroom and toilet was constructed. So like 300.
You hear lie?
So Andy, they go tell us where that place is. I want somebody in the south tell me where this 300 home improvements happened.
Call us. Anne-Marie. Yes, Miss Anne-Marie, call us. You're working with Andy now.
She working with him?
Yes, she working with Andy. She's his liaison officer. She's the person that to go to. So she should know the amount of houses and bathroom and toilet that is being delivered in the south. She should tell us.
So where is this 100 new homes that was constructed, Andy? Was the $10,000 part of paying for these houses? Was it 10,000 or is it 10,000 or is it true? Or is there any truth to a $10,000 being received? Because we are receipting.
Yeah, a lot of receipts too.
Because when man get tired, they just vex. Yeah. When you're too regular, like, you know, a man, when we going up and thing and like a dancer and thing, everybody trying to sing a like a thing, so a man they call teacher. He say come and sing house to house, girl, you too regular. You too regular, girl, you too regular. You too regular, Andy. You too regular.
Name calling too much.
And then your partner in the Northwest. You want to join the brew. Are you too regular, you go kill the youth. And the man in the West are like youth. But in every structure.
Yeah.
But you join the brew too.
But you're right to say that.
You want 10,000 too.
Because you ever set a youth playing the royal in the government. Yeah. And some of us trying to cover it up for them.
It's like some of them playing the fiddle fast.
Yeah, the fiddle.
Alas.
The fiddle diddle.
These 10 fellas playing
Skiddly.
No man, razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle, that different. Yeah. Fiddly too.
Very difficult.
Razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
So you want to hear over that 100 homes I was building in the south? And over the 150 persons who benefit from housing assistance. Yeah. There you go.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Massacre and Igwe and Mr. Robin, I just want to say, the phone that I have is my little $2 are calling with, you understand? So don't treat me like other people.
Okay.
What does that mean? Why are you insinuating?
When we meet, we go talk about that.
No. They are low blow. I don't let you get away with that. They are low blow.
No. Well, and I don't want you to categorize it in.
But you shouldn't have.
Because maybe
you're allowing your money to waste by making those statements on them. So go on.
Okay, yes. Now, Massacre, I want to start out by asking you, based on your theme song, when the song put in context that they say the 10 times worse than Ebola. What I want to ask you is this: based on the operation of the government of this present administration to date, are you telling me that you are willing your theme song represent the inequity of what this administration is doing so far?
Yes.
Okay. No. All right. Good. I'm straight on that. The other thing is that as a former committed and dedicated NDCI, I want to apologize ever without going into details. Whatever you categorize as injustices and inadequacies of this administration without getting into details. But I want to say here this afternoon, for one, all what the former administration under Dr. Kit Mitchell said prior to the election when it comes to pension, that the NDCC was a lie and it didn't care about workers and it didn't care about poor people. Today, they are saying the exact same thing. Are you there, sir?
Yeah, we did.
All right. My credit doesn't run out. Contract workers, all what the former administration under Dr. Kit Mitchell said prior to the election that the NDC said was a lie and it didn't care about workers and want to keep people poor. Today, they are saying the same exact things. Now, one of the things I really, to the GDP, watch, honestly speaking, I come to the conclusion that this is a form of disrespect from me that is just too much to stomach based on what the GDP is all about. Because, listen, man, if you could get $2 million from the GDP, about what it means is that it should be very easy for you to get the same amount of money from one of our regular commercial banks. This is what puzzles me. But let me
they could ask Telesford and he will tell them.
One of the things that concerns me the most, and that is the thing that will cause me to believe. Oh no, regardless of what you say, I still believe that, with all the shortcomings, that they still care about the country. Honestly speaking, that's me.
So you're happy with them reaping the resources of the country?
No, Massacre. I know, because I'm making that. I'm saying what I've said in upfront in order to make the point now, so people will understand the gravity of the last point here that I'm making. All of the things that, whether it's the pension, contract workers, the hospital, all of these things, one of the things that will really cause me to believe and convinced deep in my heart that this administration don't care about the country is if they will make the assets of Grenley that we bought back from WRB, if they was going to make it, let me how to put it, if they was going to sell it to any other entity, if that was to take place, honestly speaking, I put it in the category of treason, because I believe one of the engines of our economy, and something that affects the ordinary man the most, is energy. And if we was going to sell back what we buy back to any other foreign entity, this will be so unacceptable. I am prepared to participate in another violent revolution. Gentlemen, have a good weekend.
All right. Have a blessed weekend.
What?
And Jonathan, like you want your 10 grand too.
I find so.
You want your 10 grand too. But man, I got it.
Yeah.
So Andy, where you build 100 houses in the south?
Yeah. Give us an idea. At least 5 in an area where we build 5. Tell
Lines, Grand Anse Valley,
And where that 150 persons, where they located?
Yeah, bathroom and toilet.
And the 50 bathroom and toilet, where that was constructed, Andy? Just tell us.
Yeah, give us an idea so we wouldn't be
Shouldn't be a big deal, just say.
Yeah, grade that small. We could take a ride and just reach 15 minutes.
But I'm saying if Andy could do all that over the past 2 years, Mr. Dennis Cornwall, use my representative, why Andy getting all that and you not getting?
Yeah. And he's a minister of
What
finance.
the cake do shine good? You're a senior minister, anything?
Minister of
They
finance.
freed you.
They freed them.
You got street people say when they're ready, you just say what's on your mind.
Yeah. And Mr. Lennox and Jews.
And Dennis, why is the real reason with your nephew? Why is it be in the detail? Because people saying all kind of thing. I want you to clear the air. I don't know.
Clear the air.
You're Dennis stuck.
I don't know. They say our nephew moved from the head ISB. Don't know nephew moving. I don't know that. One of them school children and them in Anglican saying that when we was up the gates the other Friday,
Yeah, the other day.
I hear they only talking about some kind of thing. So I go on and listen.
What?
I say, why you saying that kind of thing for?
The advisors and them working, man.
Yeah, some school children are telling me about some police had to come up the Wednesday. The police come in sorted Wednesday. And I don't know. I don't know. Let's take the call.
Hello?
Hello,
sir.
Bro!
Bro! I did up here so fine.
Well,
I did up here so fine. I just waiting on time.
yeah, man.
Waiting on time.
Time.
One.
The time will come.
This is Andy now. Andy is a fella, he caught in on both sides. Yeah. He caught in on both sides.
You found him out?
Yeah, I found him out since when election is start. Because he go and ask Kit Mitchell to run. Kit Mitchell tell him no, you have him man already. There's the kayak. That is why he go on NDC side, you know. You know, the Prime Minister tell him, nah, I'm a man to run in the South already. So he take back and he lucky, he get a little fit in and he try all kind of trick. But he don't last in long day. Before the election come in, they go break up with him. Before the election come, they go break up with Andy. Because he's very greedy, yeah? He's a greedy fella. Thank you.
All right,
All right, my friend. It's alarming.
Good afternoon, Fanny Cohen.
Hey, a long time I hear that name.
I don't know the UN call you already.
Big work?
I don't know.
Oh.
Because I tell you, I find I had the school children and them up the gates. That one you tell me why I go there and listen.
Why go there and listen?
Them school children are here talking and say something with some UN and Vanny. And school children don't know how to lie.
No, Stoops can't lie.
No.
They just don't know.
Vanny, what did the UN call you? Answer the call.
Answer the call, bro.
Might be a good call.
You know you're still acting like you're in Hollywood. Let's take the call.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good
Good afternoon, Grenada. Mr. Carl,
Mm-hmm.
blessings and good evening to you.
Well, you too, my
Listen
dear.
now, do you ever wonder, right?
Who?
You hear somebody mouthpieces saying how concerning the cell phone gate that Sheldon run up.
Yeah.
Right? That could build roads and that could pay this and that could buy food for the children. Do they really sit down and think about where they can stay in, the amount of money we the taxpayers paying for them to stay?
No, you can't feed children.
You can't feed children?
No, you can't build road and build house and thing.
Oh.
The children can't eat that money.
20,000 a month?
Yeah, over 20,000 a month.
So over 200,000, there are a lot of more money than what you're talking about Sheldon. You can't buy things.
2 years.
Only Sheldon money I
right?
could buy things.
That is 2 years. We have 3 more years to live with that. No wonder why the youth calling this government a hit and run. This thing will come from the elders, you know. The youth that calling this government a hit and run. It's the youth, the same youth you hear they calling the money workers to come in, to re-register them, to go through their credentials and all this thing and them. Nobody knows who is going to they letting go.
Because they don't say they don't have money to pay.
Only on the NDC you've seen so much surveillance, so much people passing around doing surveillance, so much people passing around and doing statistics. Why? Eh? No wonder why the youth call it about hit and run government, because they always see it about themselves. Because the Prime Minister say he never knew Prime Minister coming all this pox. You go in St. Lucia and he say, when you get power, all you see is yourself, your friends, and your family. You don't care about the people who was the runners, who belly was big, who running up and down to make sure on the day of election and today fighting hard to get something from this government. Eh? Everything they can't see them. Why? Even their own people speaking about them now. Look at that. From 23 to 24, what has they done? What has they done? Nothing.
Let me tell you what they do.
No paper trail.
No, let me tell you what they do.
In the air and they flying,
Let me just end like they send home hundreds of low-income workers and they hire the big boyfriends. You have 80-something of them, they're doing everything. They refuse to pay hundreds of workers while ministers get tax-free increase of $7,000. They reduce the social safety net programs, including Debunking transportation allowance, tuition for students, and school vouchers. They break the campaign promises by they not regularizing people. They call on Grenadians home and abroad to send in a CV and all, and they just have our 35 of them again all the work. They looking like they will sell grain and they can now answer any time. And they taking credit for anything or any projects NNP had. That's what they do in 2 years.
So if NNP had nothing in the pipeline, they had nothing to finish. Look at the work in River Road. Another rain season coming again. The road, the bridge will finish yet. I have a friend living in the cemetery right there. Eh? Even when the rain, water, we have no control over things like water and wind. Look at the thunder. Look at the earthquake shake last night.
Yes.
As far down Upper St. Lucia, St. Vincent, why down to Venezuela, feel it. And with 4 or 5 different countries feel the earthquake, and it was really heavy. It was really heavy. Nobody have no control over nature. We have no control over nature. That's why we should fear. The things of nature we don't have control of. That's why we should fear. Because nobody know. Look at that midnight last night. Some people sleep through it. People sleep through the earthquake last night.
But listen that, whilst poor people out here catching the naning.
The Prime Minister is living in big luxury house.
He was on a program today and the man refused to ask him anything about corruption and that he talk at the tongue.
Mr. Carl, I don't blame Kell and Bob, you know. Because Kell and Bob asked the former Prime Minister last week on the same program what he said about corruption, about concerning this government. And all he had to say about NNP? All he had to say is about NNP. Nothing about the government. Nothing.
So why it didn't make sense he asking now today?
So it don't make sense asking the question today because it don't make no sense. Because if those, as I said, you brought the scripture, you know, Romans 1 from 17 to 31. Now, you go and read it again. The truth become a lie. Wrong become right. And right become wrong. So some people is okay. But when it's on this side, it's all right. Have a blessed day.
Alright, but you all come out, Devon. When you come out, the place go open like booking.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that is why our responsibility as persons, as custodians of information, it's our duty to continue to inform the Grenadian people about what is going on. What are they hitting and what are they running with? You understand? We have to let the people know.
Good afternoon, Tevin Andrew.
Yes.
How you doing?
Honorable Tevin Andrew. Well, I know if I could.
A man sent 2 pictures for me. He said the foot looking like the foot. He tell me the foot in that picture looking like the foot in that picture.
And the pipe man and them?
Yeah, he said the foot with the pipe looking like another foot in the kitchen.
But
I don't know.
I'll just say something about
the
that.
pipe man and them?
No, I don't want to cross the line.
I
only saying what I was told. They say the 2 foot looking
Like-
same.
like the foot?
Yeah.
Alright.
And a foot exporting. Somebody who know how to footprint and thing. I don't know.
I have an issue with a lot of us here in Grenada when certain things happen. Now, over the years and even months, you see a lot of video clippings coming out with all sorts of persons, with all sorts of things. Even young children, you understand, doing all sorts of illegal things. You know, but all during that time, no one came out and talk about, people can use AI and they can do this to you and they can do that to you and everything. Nobody was saying that, Lo and behold, a video clipping and everything come out about a minister. And everybody is running to the rescue of the minister and putting AI in front.
What AI?
They set it up. They put things together and they're trying to make this. I mean, come on, people. When our children is being abused on the same social media, where is you all talking about all this foolishness? Right? Let the person come out and say it whether it's true or not. The minister have mouth. He mouth big. He's a hatchet man.
Well, it is alleged.
It's alleged. So if it's, look, and as I always saying, if it's not, whatever people are saying and it's out there, if it's not true, come out and defend yourself.
Igwe, Johnny Cochran said, if it don't fit, you need to acquit. And the jurors acquitted O.J. Simpson.
Big time.
I say, if it is not true, just sue.
Yeah.
Let me take the call.
Not true. The amount of people add that number to make sure you see what it is.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bridgman.
Right. So you see now that if the journalist could ask the Prime Minister about Mr. Andy, then it means the integrity in public life could ask, no, I could investigate now. And the other personnel could ask. So there is a good time now to get the answers that we so needed. You understand? Because the journalists now asking the price and the price are saying no about one loan. You understand? So open the book now.
Well, the journalist had a chance to open the book and ask about the others too.
Well, he didn't ask.
He had a chance to ask how the corruption are going on.
The others could be asked.
He had a chance to ask how the pity what's circulating on social media. He had a chance to ask all that.
Yes, but he didn't do it. But I'm saying no, it could be done.
You are the Prime Minister to come in and sit down with the others, but he's sitting down with this one. Why you don't come and sit down with the Real FM? Let me ask him those questions.
Come in.
Tell him come and sit down with the Real FM.
I'll just ask him to get him to come.
People like you, they will listen to you, they won't listen to us.
We send a message.
People like me?
Yeah.
No.
You could come anytime you're ready.
You
We're
cannot
ready.
even want to hear me and hear you talking about people like me.
He could even come on Saturday downstairs, Real FM, if you don't want to come inside there.
But it open out now. Just what I'm saying, opening out now. Because if the Prime Minister say no of one loan, then he can get to answer about the other loans. Because Jenny knew about more than one loan.
Clifford Bridgman, let me break down the thing to you. The type of money that these people in the cabinet must know.
I understand all that.
And the Prime Minister is the chairman of cabinet, so he must know.
I understand all that.
Are they not just being nice to this guy and he lie? Are you trying to be too nice?
Nice.
Cabinet must know that amount of money. The Minister of Finance must sign off on that loan.
Bob know it and the Prime Minister don't know.
The Prime Minister just lie. He must know, he's the chairman. And did he know about cabinet conclusion with the Polish man?
And he was the finance minister at the time.
How he know about cabinet conclusion with the Polish man? But he's the head of cabinet and cabinet must know that kind of money from GDP?
He's singing, man, we'll get the answer.
Clifford, they just think with that man. The man must know.
But I believe you know.
He must instruct the board to approve that.
Yeah.
I know that you know.
But the journalists, realize the journalists don't press him.
Yeah.
When he brought journalists will press him.
Mutatos mutan, one and the same.
Yeah.
You upset him when they say don't follow the leader.
What goes around comes back with.
No, I know they look for that, but you want to don't follow the leader, don't follow him. Don't follow the leader. Not to follow the leader. Don't do it.
Alright, different.
Alright, Brother Cliff. It's fast approach. You know,
and what's strange about it, street people, school children and others saying that the chairperson of the GDB is the person, is a member of the second cabinet. So how we don't know? Even today the guy speaking on shooting. And I go use a language familiar to a friend of his. The truth abideth not in the Prime Minister.
At all. He's a liar.
A friend of his, in the same profession, like to say that in court. The truth abideth not. You want with the marijuana committee.
So you have a non-funded pension for an already large public service in the thousands. We do not have the government doesn't have the resources on its own to absorb another 3,000 or 4,000 people. That's what we're looking at here. 3,500 persons who work in one way or the other government and are called contracted workers who do not have any pension. And so we simply cannot absorb that 3,500 to the existing list, because then you're going to perhaps 8,000 people in an unfunded pension arrangement, right? It's not sustainable and the country will not be able to pay, right? And therefore, what
it is alleged, or somebody want to know, Andy Williams, the young lady, they asking the question about the $1,500. They say she's still waiting. I don't know. So if there's a $1,500 that young lady, you need to treat with. I don't know. It is alleged. I saving myself there, man, because I want to tell me to ask him. It is alleged. The 1,500, they still waiting.
For whatever.
That's what they say. I don't know. You need to fix that, because 100 houses, 150 material assistance, 50 bathroom and toilet.
That's a lot. That's progress.
And the people talk about some kind of 10,000. I don't know. I don't know if it's 10,000 for parliamentary reps.
Yeah, it could part of that.
Or if it's another 10,000. And Jonathan maybe wants a 10,000. I don't know if that is true.
Youth.
There are people saying youth. I take the call.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Carl. Good afternoon, Devon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, Mr. Carl, I'm really, really sorry. The NDC really think people, we as NMPIs, our eyes are blind.
You say one occupant, you have any housing thing by your update. Right, you?
No, I don't know.
But a lot of keys was given out before.
For the housing?
Yeah.
I don't know they give keys, but they give...
No, you know a lot of keys was given out in NMP time.
No, but it was letters. Delma Thomas.
Well, letters and so on.
Yeah,
well, I humbly apologize. Not keys, letters.
Letters. She gave letters, written letters. And it stated that they have to get together in a group of 10.
But they say one occupant here. The minister says one occupant here, so I believe her.
Well,
she don't go to church, she won't lie.
Well, she won't lie. We believe her. It's written. They all blaspheme. Yeah. So, but what I'm saying, how dare they accusing us as if we eyes is blind? and they're laying the blame on the AI. Do you think that is right? We as NMPI, we could see. We know the young man. Ever since I came to Carriacou, they were saying that young man, what the young man does. All habit die hard. And we all know that in Carriacou, right? So the food belongs to him.
The food,
let me claim it.
the food is his.
It is.
All
Let
right.
me claim it. And
Claim
all
the
things
food.
belongs to him.
Claim the food. Own up.
There is
Own up to your
charge.
food.
Yes, there's no charge, right? So let him take it. Don't let him put the blame on somebody else. Let him accept the blame. Everything they do, they costing NMP, like as if NMP so stupid. NMP people don't go to school. We don't know what is right and wrong. And because them is NDC, they bright. They think they're brighter than everybody else. But let me tell you, the day is coming. We're going out early, and we're voting them out as long as God gives us breath in our body. How we did to Tillman Thomas, he's the first one going. We're going out early, and we're voting them out. Have a nice day. I'm going out now. Have a good day.
Yes, yeah. Enjoy yourself.
Have a good day.
All right.
Shatters on the street. School children, Ital, want to know if a loan was approved on a weekend in G.
On a weekend?
I don't know.
Where in GB?
I don't know. They want to know. They're asking that.
It could never be a commercial bank.
Never.
And not a credit union.
Never.
They also want to know if instructions, because we hear the AG talking about instructions.
Instructions, yeah, she go instruct.
And the AG could have instruct the FIO. So under the Prime Minister could have instruct GDB. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible because
we hearing out instruction.
Brother Cornwall, remember he's finance minister.
No, leave out my rep from that. And my rep wouldn't take part in this.
Well, he's finance minister.
My rep would not take part in this
thing.
He
may know something. He may not take part, but
he may know, but he won't do that.
Okay, well, you know your rep better than me. All right, yeah, you know your rep better than me. Basaka, I see we fastly approaching the end of our program, and I just want to give my conclusion.
Yeah.
All right. When we started off the program, we consider this government to be a hit-and-run government, and some people perhaps still wondering why that was there. And I'll just give you a few points in closing. All right. They definitely is a hit-and-run government. As soon as this government came into office 2 years ago, they take a pay hike.
3 months.
They raise the salaries of government ministers. They hit the Grenadian treasury and they run out. Yeah. The vulnerable people, right? As soon as they get in 2022, they took away $150 from them. They hit them hard. And they run and leave them for a whole year before they could put back some money for some of them. I mean, look at what they did to the vulnerable people who were supposed to get the houses donated by China, the People's Republic of China. They stole it away from them, right? They hit them hard and they run away with the houses. But what is most, thing pressing about all of this is the GDB bank heist. They heist the bank. They take the bank that was designated and assigned to small businesses and farmers. They took it and approved millions of dollars in loans for ministers, friends. My brothers and sisters, today, I'm convinced, and I want you to be convinced too, that the government we have is no more than a hit-and-run government.
Line out the PS for me. Okay, some people are playing the beast really long as they play, they can't understand what the PS.
Finance. Just wanted to make one additional point with respect to the pensioner. So the retroactive pension that is paid now.
Retroactive pension, stop with it. And start over again. I want them to hear retroactive pension.
Finance. I just wanted to make one additional point with respect to the pensioner. So the retroactive pension that is paid now.
The retroactive pension. Go play the whole thing because they play it over here. They feel they could put spin.
Finance. I just wanted to make one additional point with respect to the pensioner. So the retroactive pension that is paid now, all those persons who have received those payments are now added to the pension payroll. So you'll continue receiving your monthly pensions going forward. So essentially, we're talking about 2,200 persons now on the payroll.
And he have person names I could call him. But because of the sanctity of the situation, what do get in the monthly money, you know?
I know a lot of people want to get into. But
why are they hitting the Grenadian people so hard? So many questions to ask. So many answers await.
Tell me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, ear to ear. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over, they unleash their lawyer. Set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley, but they wouldn't.